No, it's not, mate. I'm eating a bowl of granola with goji berries and some honey. It's delicious.
Oh,
All right, guys, we are recording now. Today's session is all about selling without selling. How do we sell without selling? There's a saying people don't like being sold to, but they like buying. A lot of people enjoy shopping, but when the same person calls you to sell the same product that you might be looking for, most people switch off. Why is that? Okay, that's because it's a very simple psychological human nature. This is human nature and psychological framework, which is we don't like being sold to, but we like buying. Okay, if you apply that to when I say people, and I'm going to add a lot more to this, but can you see that I tell people feel free to call me, because when they call me, they want to buy. When I call them, I have to sell, which most people don't like. It's just a natural process that when they call me, they are actually calling me to buy from me. Okay? Otherwise, why would they call me? So I don't have to do any selling, which makes my life about 100 times more easier. Okay? I literally do not call people unless I really, really have to. Because when you, and it's not just about selling, when you are even doing collaborations, or you want to build rapport with someone, let's say a local estate agent, or an auctioneer, or in fact, for that matter, anyone in your life, when you call them, you still have to work on that rapport slightly more harder because you called them. Question is, can you create a scenario where they call you? Okay? Can you create that scenario when instead of them calling you, you calling them, they call you? Okay? Hi, Seti. If you look at the whole framework of PEN and the personal branding that I'm working on, it is structured that way so people call us. Okay? Muzzy, from your experience, since we've started, the day we started, in fact, in the first week, you had people approaching you thinking that you are a rent-to-rent expert. Why was that? Do you want to answer that for me?
it's the perception that we were creating.
Exactly. It's not the reality, it's the perception you create in the market. Okay? It's not about what you can or can't. It's about what other person perceives you to be able to deliver. Perception in their mind is reality. Okay? But how do you create that perception? Perception is created through content as well as context. But the context bit you can only control so much, but you can create a lot of content. I'll give you an example on Jassim. Jassim, since you've started doing these Friday nuggets, how much traction, in fact, how much more traction have you had? Can you give me an instinctive figure there?
I have had about, over the last 5 weeks, I've had about 20 different people calling me.
So in percentage, how much of that is an increment in what you already had?
100%.
Just one single video on a Friday evening shared in multiple groups has generated 100% more business for Jassim. Okay?
I wouldn't say business, Jack. It is more in terms of business leads.
Yes, but that you need to learn how to close.
Yes.
I will share that with you. Okay? Again, when these people connected with you, did you connect it or they sent you a message?
They sent me a message. They in fact went on to the virtual business card.
Yes. And then they
and left me a message there, and then I connected with them on WhatsApp. Some of them directly messaged me on WhatsApp asking me when's a good time to talk.
Fantastic. Now, can you see that I'm talking about the content here and not the context as yet? Okay. So you generate leads based on content that you create. But then there's a lot more to content as well. Okay. For example, Jasim would sit in an office and he'd generate content. Okay. People can see a background, books, shelf, you know, a civil engineer, you know, talking from experience, so on and so forth. Okay. And then you observe me sometimes. I went down to the office yesterday to do the event. Okay. In fact, so moving on from that. So it all depends on, so there's multiple factors going on here. It's what people see, what people feel, and what they hear. Okay. So there's a lot more to that in terms of, so let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you create content and you're sitting in a track pant on a t-shirt. Okay. What kind of impression are you creating in comparison to you sitting in a suit and a tie, or in comparison to you sitting on a yacht or in a private jet like Grant Cardone does? Can you see the perception he's creating? Okay. Go and sit. In fact, it's actually, that's funny human nature. But if you did that same content, Jasim, sitting on a private jet, you would create not 100%, but 1,000% traction. That's just the way human nature is. Okay. And a lot of people do take advantage of that. Okay. They'd go, they'd, you know, sit in a helicopter, they'd sit on a private plane, and they'd create content, and they've got this, you know, privilege or whatever, you know, they've got inheritance money, or they've hired a private jet, they'd, you know, hire a Ferrari for a day, they'll create content on that Ferrari. People do it all day long. They do it all the time. Okay. Do you want to go in that direction? By all means, do it. It works. Okay. But it does make a difference to the perception that you create. You know, for example, I'll give you another example. So the new house that we're getting the work done on, I'm creating a space where there is actually a TV unit, standing TV on a mounted TV unit. And I'd actually be having, you know, I'd have the P and logo on the TV, and then I'd stand on the side and I'd talk when I do create my content, and the camera will be right facing, you know, like on the same eye length, and then I'd create content. If I wear a nice suit, double-breasted suit, can you see the difference it will create, or the perception it will create from maybe what I've been doing so far? Yeah. I could do that. As you can see, there's a TV there. I could do it even now, but I thought, okay, I'm going to move on to the new property. But then again, can you see where I'm going with this in terms of creating perceptions?
Correct.
You do need to create a perception in the market, and that's entirely up to you to what you want to create. Okay. Why do you think, and I'm not sure if Lydia is here.
No, he's not here.
But why do you think I actually private messaged him? He did put it in the group. That's entirely up to him. But I did tell him that you need to be in a shirt. Okay. So it all depends on what kind of perception you want to create in the market, because remember, that will lead to you being able to find investors. Okay. From that point, remember, when people connect with you, Jasim, you need to nurture those relationships. Okay. People are not, you know, just because they connected with you does not mean that they're ready to invest in you. Doesn't mean that they're ready to buy from you.
Correct.
How many of those 20 were actually ready to make a move and buy from you?
3 of them.
That's a good number. I was expecting only maybe 1. Okay. But that's a good number. But those 17, what happens to them?
I have to nurture them. I'm slowly nurturing, giving them a little more content, giving them a little more, keeping in touch, not letting, after their first message, still keeping in touch once in a week, say hello, just check what they're doing, how they're doing.
I don't even do that.
Sorry?
I don't even do that. I don't get in touch with them. I keep creating content.
Yeah,
But
when I say I'm being in touch with them, basically every Friday from the time they've connected, I keep sharing my content with them again on that specific Friday.
That's right. Yes. So you keep creating content, but you nurture them in a group. So when you bring them to this WhatsApp group, that's the good thing about WhatsApp tool. It's a very good tool to create that, you know, like the basically bringing them more closer to you. Okay. You're actually bringing them a bit more closer to you. You don't speak with them every day. They might not speak with you for months, but when you write something in the group, they do read. Okay. I've literally had people join a group and 12 months later, they've messaged me, you know what, I've been reading your messages. You know, they do motivate me. They do inspire me. I've made some changes to my life. 12 months later. Okay. In fact, I had one girl message me from Australia some time ago saying that I've been connected with you on Facebook for about 5 years. And I love what you do. You know, you inspire me. I've made a few changes learning from you. 5 years later. But that's exactly what happens when you keep nurturing and keep giving that content and keep giving that value, is because they will invest in you, if not now, maybe in the long term. Okay. But
Jack, I'd like to add something there.
Yes.
The way what you're saying is that I agree, because from the video I posted on Friday, a lady got in touch with me as to how we can help her search HMO opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for she getting in touch with me was sourcing HMO opportunities.
Yeah.
But then eventually that conversation went on to she having land behind her house on a separate title to be built into 4 apartments.
There you go.
So the model of goal that you said, sorry, not goal, grow works well. Grow. So I started chatting with her. I started understanding where she's from, background. She happens to be from Zimbabwe, but an Indian origin. Spoke to her in her local language, and things went on moving from there. And when we started talking more about what we do, while the original intention was to source a HMO property, it eventually went on to now she's sending me details of her piece of land, and like she wants advice on what is the best way to go forward and how I can come on board and help her.
There you go, guys. It's very, very simple. It's nurturing those relationships over a very, very long period of time. And if you do not have the patience, you want to maybe go and find yourself a job. That's as simple as that. Business is a long-term patience game where you keep nurturing those relationships over a very, very long period of time. Sometimes 5 and 10 years later. There are people, I can assure you there are people who would observe someone for 10 years and then they would come and approach you and say, you know what? I've been observing you for 10 years. I did see you struggling initially. I see you now getting traction. I can see where you're going. I can see the persistence. Here is 10 million that I'd like to invest with you. Okay. I can actually tell you that with experience, where I've seen people doing that. This is what happens. But you need to have that patience for 10 years. Okay. You need to sit on opportunities, guys. Just because you're there in the market doesn't mean that people are ready to invest in you. Doesn't mean that people are prepared to trust you. Why do you think I wrote in the group this morning that if I see anyone messing around with the reputation of PEN, I will remove them, because it does take a long period of time to build a reputation, and a very minor mistake to ruin all of it. Okay. So I will be keeping a very close eye on everyone that's connected to make sure. In fact, if you guys don't have that in your groups, I have keyword alerts in the Facebook group. Okay. Which means that if I see certain words, I would get a message saying keyword alert. Would you like to allow this?
Jack,
so the message,
can you give me an example, please? Sorry to interrupt you.
So let's say if someone starts to argue in the Facebook official group,
yes,
I would get a message.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because I've seen you've been very good at diffusing random episodes, shall we say, in the group. I don't know if any of the other guys have observed that. You've done a brilliant job at that. Yeah, really impressed.
But I've had days in these groups, people attacking me like crazy. And I mean, literally crazy. And all I'm doing is diffusing, and Muzzy's smiling at that because he's seen it. Diffusing
I have.
and in the most diplomatic way possible, because I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm not here to fight with anyone. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I'm here to serve. If you don't believe in my principles and my values, that's absolutely fine. Again, it goes back to the stats. 30% of people will just they'll just disappear. Okay? Because they cannot connect with your vibe. Okay? And that's absolutely fine. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just your vibe. That's your natural you're born with that vibe. Okay? And some people will connect and others won't, and they will eventually leave you anyway. Those are not the people you want to be concerned about, and that's absolutely fine. But those who will connect with you, you need to build that reputation and that credibility and that trust and that diplomatic nature over a longer period of time. Okay? Diplomacy, in my younger years, I used to think of diplomacy as a negative trait. Okay? It isn't. It's actually a very positive trait. You do need to be diplomatic when you're speaking with people. You can't just bluntly tell them you're an idiot. Okay? That's not how it works. You tell someone you're an idiot, he'd say, you know, you're an idiot. Simple, right? It doesn't work like that. You have to be diplomatic. And remember, people change. Someone might be an idiot today. They change tomorrow. They learn from life. They learn. How many times have you had that, you know, you look back at your early years, teenagers and early 20s, you look back and think, why the hell did I do that? Okay? We learn, we grow, and people grow. You got to give them time and benefit of doubt as many times as possible. But when it comes to major mistakes, maybe you want to remove them from your life. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, someone comes in, he tries to attack you in the most nastiest and vicious way. By all means, move on. Remove the person and move on. You're not there to get attacked for no reason. Okay? But then going back to the main thing, which is nurturing those relationships, is a key. Okay? It just doesn't happen overnight. Okay? And remember, if you look at the PEN framework at the moment, I literally get so many. If I was to average out recommendations, yesterday I had 2 while I was doing the event. I had 2 recommendations, 2 missed calls. I called them back, and there were 2 recommendations from someone. Muzzy, you would know this. Do you remember meeting me at the first event in Lewisham?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a guy called Akhtar there. Remember Akhtar?
Oh, yes. I remember Akhtar. Yeah.
He is from the same country as I am.
Oh, really?
So I spoke his language. Okay, I speak Farsi. Okay, so when he came, I asked him, because I could feel he was Afghani. So I asked him, you know, where are you from? He said Afghanistan. Then I started speaking the local language. This was what, 12 months ago, 18 months ago? How long ago was that?
Yeah.
He recommended 2 people yesterday. No expectations, nothing. He just recommended 2 people to me. Both Afghans, recommended for finance, property finance, mortgages and bridge loans. Okay. 18 months, I've spoken with him but maybe 2 or 3 times in the 18 months period. I've not done any cases for him. I've not done anything for him. But even then he's gone on to recommend more people. Why do you think that is?
That's the point you were raising about your vibe and your tribe.
Content and vibe. I spoke in the local language with him because I know he's from my country. Why would I speak in English with him in the first place? Right? Building that trust, building that rapport, and then he's watching all the content that I've been generating. Okay, so psychologically he's thinking that I'm getting so much value from Jack, and this guy can do things, and when he's speaking with his friends, he's talking about me. Okay, you give them an excuse to talk about you, and when they do, that generates more business. It's not about the people you are connected with, guys. It's very important to understand this. It's not about the 256 people that you have in your WhatsApp group or your multiple groups. It's the people that they are connected with. most of the business is not going to come from your direct contacts, it's going to come from your indirect contacts. It's the indirect contacts in the long term that will invest in you, buy from you, and so on, not your direct contacts. Direct contacts will buy, but it will more be of the indirect contacts. But you need to nurture that relationship, add enough value to it to bring them to a perception and a trust level and to a point where they start to talk about you and recommend you. Okay? And they will use you as well. You know, it doesn't mean that they won't, but there will be a point that may be a longer period of time. Okay? So that's how it's kind of built. But then again, coming down to selling, Jason, so generating leads framework, either it's the physical framework or the psychological framework. I think you guys mostly understand now. Say yes, everyone. I want everyone to say yes or a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So generating leads, the psychological framework is key. Okay. It's the perception that counts. It's the value that you add that counts. It's the excuse that you give them to talk about you more that counts with their friends. Okay. But when it comes to sales, that's another beast in and itself. For that is the grow model. Okay. Remember, when you are working on the grow model, are you selling? You're not selling. You're practically just trying to ascertain what is it that they want in their life. And if you can help them in that journey. Okay. Remember, you're just a one person. Look at their life as a movie and they are the superstar. You are just a one character in their life to help them achieve their dreams. Okay? The question is, are you gonna become one of the main characters in their movie to help you build their dream life, which leads to you building your dream life? Does that make sense? So you are the superstar, the protagonist, the hero of your story. They are just another character. Okay? Are they going to help you and you are going to help them become one of the main characters in your picture? And you are not selling. All you're doing is you're creating an experience and a picture and adding enough value to their life to bring them to a point where they invest in you. Okay? Investing in you does not mean physical investment. It means buying something from you. Okay? It also as well means investing in you. Okay? Grow model is very, very simple, guys. All you want to find out is what is it that they want from their life? And can you help them achieve that? It's very, very simple. I've been using that for 15 years. Okay? I learned about grow model when I was 26 years old. I'm over 40 now. Okay? So almost 15 years. And it has worked almost every single time that I've used. I've used this on billionaires. I've used this. In fact, when you speak with some of these billionaires, they already know what you're doing. Okay? But it's a very simple framework because all you're trying to do is find out what is it that they want. Okay? I've pitched it to multi-million pound companies many, many times in multiple businesses, and it works every single time. Even if it means you don't sell it there and then, but just because you've built that rapport means that they will come back to you at a later stage. Are you with me? Justin, do you have any questions?
No, Jack, no questions.
You are again serving, you're not selling. You are helping them achieve their dreams, trying to find out first of all what their dreams are in the first place. What is it that they want? And can you help them with it? It's a very simple question. It's not a very difficult question. Let me put it in context for you, okay? Let's say, Roger, in your case, you're looking for an equity investor, okay? I think this is one of the difficult cases that I'm going to deal with. Roger, are you with me? Yep. let's say you're looking for an equity investor. You want to do a deal worth, let's say 50 million. Okay. You want an equity investor of, let's say 10 million. Okay. Hypothetically. Okay.
Yes.
Obviously the challenge you have at this stage is that you cannot do a lot of networking, which is what we are here to help you. That's absolutely fine. But going from this point is that when you speak with investors, when you do speak with people who have the money to invest in you, okay, all you're doing is you're trying to find out what is it that they want to do with that money. Okay. What kind of return are they expecting in terms of their money? What is it that they want to create with that money? What kind of lifestyle do they want to create? Okay. They may already be worth 10 million, but maybe their dream might be, I want to start a charity that reaches 100 million. Okay. Maybe their dream might be, you know what? I want to be the richest man in my town. People have all kinds of weird dream lives that they want to create. Absolutely fine. I want to have the best yacht in my town. I want to have a private jet. I'd be the only one to own in my town. I want to be the most well-known, I don't know, investor in the region. I want to be the most well-known property investor, whatever that might be. But if you use the GROW model correctly, you will know that dream, right? You will just ask that question saying, what are you planning to do? Or what is it that you want to achieve in your life? And you ask that question in multiple ways, and digging deeper on that, multiple ways from multiple perspectives. So you don't just ask this one saying, what is it that you want to do? Maybe you ask, what is that we want to create? But what is that dream? So try and tweak this question in multiple ways to get to that framework that they're sitting in. Is everyone with me on this?
Indeed, yes.
So in Roger, in your case, it might be someone sitting on 10 million, and they may want to, they might just turn up and say, you know what, I've worked really, really hard in my life. I don't want to work that hard. I want to sit on a bit of a cash flow, and I want to start a charity. Okay. Now, when you are sitting with people of that caliber, how can you help them create that charity and raise money? That's their dream. And that's an additional benefit that you can bring on the table.
Yeah, understood.
Okay. Try and do how you can do it. Do you know someone who was looking to build a charity? Can you connect these two people? Do you know someone who is very old, aged, knows he's going to die in 5-10 years time, wants to give away all his money? Can you connect these two people? Okay. It's very, very simple. Why do you think Warren Buffett and Bill Gates have started a charity together? Warren Buffett has given all his money to, most of his money to Bill Gates Foundation, right? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? Why do you think that is? Warren Buffett is, you know, how old he is. I can't remember how old he is now, but he knows that he's not going to live for another 20 years, 25 years, right? So what does he do? He gives away money to someone who he knows, trusts, and knows that it's going to go in the right direction, will be invested in the right. Can you do it on your level?
Not yet, no.
No, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Their dream might be whatever, right? Their dream might be, you know what? I wanna, I don't know. Let's say I wanna create a new yacht with these features. Okay. Believe me, people have funny dreams. Okay. Do you know anyone in the yacht business? If you don't know, can you find out someone in the yacht business that will help them that dream yacht? Can you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Try and help them achieve their dream through your knowledge, through your connections, in fact, through any of your resources. Okay. I'll tell you my dream. My dream is to start a charity and be able to help, you know, poor people in India. Okay. Can anyone here help me achieve that? Would that lead to you getting more closer to me, closer to my heart? That's closer to my heart, right? Would that lead you to you getting closer to my heart? The answer is yes. It's very, very simple. People make decisions on their emotions and not logic, guys. You want to get to their heart, and to get to their heart, you want to find out what is it that their dreams are through the grow model, and then you go from that point. Okay? People invest in people when they first of all trust. They know, like, and trust. It's a very well known factor. They know, like, and trust in the exact chronological order that I'm saying. And not just that, but from that point onwards, do they have the same values and principles and similar dreams, and can they help me with my dreams kind of direction? Are you with me? This is all about human nature. When you get to that point, when they know you through your content, they like you through your principles and values and your ethics, and they trust you, and from that point you use the grow model to get to know them well, you never ever have to sell to them. They will come and buy from you. Now you might turn around and say, why would I invest so much time in getting to know a person? Okay, the answer to that is, first you assess if the person is worthwhile investing your time into in the first place. Okay, not judge, but assess people. We are not here to judge anyone. We are no one to judge anyone. We are definitely here to assess if a person is serious in the first place. Okay, but once you've assessed them, every person from that point onwards is worthwhile investing time into, because they may not ever buy anything from you, but the people that they are connected with, they will come and buy from you, because this person is going to talk about you. Okay, be present when you're speaking with people. Listen, and I mean really, really listen. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Roger, does that give you a bit more clarity to what I'm talking about?
It does indeed, Jack. Thank you. You know, building relationships, building rapport with people, gaining confidence and trust is paramount in any industry. It's all about building relationships. Doesn't matter what you do.
But how do you do that? It's digging into someone's dream life.
Yeah.
They may just turn around to you and say, Roger, you know what? I just want to, when I die, I want to be known for being generous. Maybe they were stingy all their life, and now they are at that age, they want to be generous. It's human brain. It can work in any possible way. How can you help them create that perception? It can be anything. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It can be any funny, weird dream. Can you help them achieve that dream? Okay. And that means maybe going off the business and helping them in, you know, I've had people tell me, you know what, I want to go to India and I want to meditate for 6 months. That's my dream. That was the dream. I actually know someone person. In fact, he was actually my best buddy for a good long 10 years in India. And his parents actually go to a ashram in India, and they've been meditating for the past 40, 50 years. So I knew someone very well who could direct them to the right place. In fact, one of the biggest ashrams in India. Okay. So that's just an example of how how you can help them achieve some of their dreams. And if you don't know how to do that, ask your network. Someone will. Okay. So try and build that trust, try and build that deeper relationship, not just knowing someone on the surface. Most people that most people know, it's a surface relationship. You only know them so much. You don't know what their dreams might be, what their strengths might be, what their limitations might be. What is there at their core? That's what matters. And your job is to get to that core and really, really get to know them. And at that point, there is no selling happening. You're talking with a friend as if, you know, it's almost like you're talking with a friend. You don't sell to friends. You don't sell to anyone. I don't sell to anyone. Okay. I occasionally do. That's just paradoxical, but that does not happen quite often. But I don't sell in most cases anyway. I just try and get to know the person. And if I get to know the person, if I feel and if I believe that I can help them, I help them. Otherwise, I just let them go. And then I keep nurturing that relationship through WhatsApp groups and so on and so forth. And that's all I do. There's no selling involved. There's nothing happening. I gave 2 sessions this morning. Both of the guys new to the industry. And all they wanted to do was try and understand a bit more about the industry, try and understand how they can do a bit more, achieve more. And I said to one of them, I said, you know, if you're struggling to find property deals, you know, by all means, paying 2% isn't going to hurt you. You can pay us 2%. We'll help you with that. Okay. He said, I'm going to come back to you. And, you know, and then he asked about a few more things on how does the finance works. I told him, you know, I shared with him everything. That's how it goes. And both of these people, I could tell that they were serious. I could assess that they were serious. They were not just running around and, you know, trying to, you know, find out information from you. Okay. I gave 15 minutes to one and I gave another 20 minutes to one. Okay. But then again, that's how you create relationships. That's how you get to know people. Any questions, guys?
Not at the moment, Jack. Thank you.
No question, Jack. But
it's not easy.
It's not easy. What you just spoke about, what you really want to do in terms of alleviating the poverty in India. With that goal, with that end goal or a long-term goal, whatever you have, however you want to contribute.
Yeah.
This is a topic which we should have a chat about.
We can have it in a separate
context.
A separate section. Yeah, of course we can do that.
Separate context, separate thing, not over here, but that's something we should have.
Yes, of course. But my point that I'm trying to make here is that, look, guys, if you just get to know the person well enough and creatively add value to their life, directly or indirectly of the business. So sometimes the value can be just about their business. Other times it could be just about their dreams, or it could be family, or it could be whatever it might be. Just adding value. There are times when people would come to groups and say, you know what, I'm struggling with this. Would you know someone who can help me with this? I recommend them people and not expect it. In fact, I don't expect anything in any way. You know, when I'm adding value and I'm doing what I do, I don't expect anything from anyone. And that's exactly the reason psychological framework that I create, or the psychological relationship that I create with people, that they go and recommend me, because I don't expect anything from them. I'm helping them. And it's the reciprocity rule, right? You give something, and in most cases, most people want to give you back. Okay. They will give you either directly or indirectly. Directly means they'll buy from you, and indirectly means that they'll go and recommend you. It's simple. Okay. Good one, guys. Do you have any questions? So otherwise I'm gonna stop recording the session and then we'll go carry on.
No questions from me.
No questions from me.
Good one. I'm gonna just stop recording.